Okay, good afternoon to you all. And today, okay, good afternoon. Today, what I am going to do, I want to teach you one of the important lesson today. That is actually what are the different criteria? What are the different criteria you have to best align in IELTS writing? IELTS writing, especially writing part 2, especially writing part 2. You know, IELTS academic and general, you have two sections, writing part 1 and writing part 2. IELTS writing part 1 academic, you have some questions, check your summarizing capacity, graphs, process, engineering structures, maps and data tables. And IELTS general part 1, you have to write a letter. Most of the time it is a formal letter you write. But today my lesson is to support you mainly IELTS academic or general writing part 2. Writing part 2, how to make your answer best fit to the IELTS scoring criteria. So why it is important that we know that when we are developing an answer for IELTS writing task 2 question, so we should try our level best to make it more aligned to the criteria where you are getting more marks. So why? Otherwise, if we write answer without understanding of the scoring criteria, that will be that your answers not get a highest band score. That's the reason. So basically teachers know this scoring criteria, but I strongly believe students also should know those scoring criteria. Then you can understand our answer should be in this level. No, that's why we are learning scoring criteria today. But it is, as I told you, it is very important for the IELTS writing task 2. Why? Because in your writing paper, more than 60% of the marks contributed by writing task 2. So then we should be more focused on that. Again, writing task 2, there are 3 types of questions are coming, like discuss model question and one-sided argument question and two-sided argument question. Based on that question type, your answer should be, there are some different structural differences. Those things we'll discuss in a separate session. But today I want to discuss this IELTS scoring criteria more broader. Whatever the question type of the writing task 2, you have to align to this scoring criteria. That's what we want to teach you today. So that when we look at IELTS scoring criteria, actually there are 4. So there are 4 scoring criteria. Criteria can be understood. There are 4. There are 4 types of scoring criteria. First one is we call task achievement. Task achievement. That is the first criteria. Task achievement. We call in IELTS words, it says task achievement. So what is task achievement means that you have to understand the question clearly and exactly your answer should focus to the question. It should focus to the question. As an example, if question asks that, as an example, that first question that you already wrote and we are at the point of reviewing your answers, that question says, private motor vehicles has given us the status symbol, but yet the use of it has created serious problem on the roads. So how we can reduce number of vehicles on the road? That's the question. So by looking at this question, we can understand that the question says 3 things. One is private motor vehicle is considered as a status symbol. And second key point is that large number of vehicles coming to the road create serious problems. Then third point of that question is that what are the different methods we can apply to reduce the number of vehicles coming to the roads. Now if you, after reading that question, the students can clearly understand oh, this question having this kind of 3 different focuses, and out of these 3 different focuses, first one says that a private motor vehicle is given as a status symbol, but second key point is it creates lot of problems on the road, and third point is that how we can reduce number of vehicles on the road, and how much weight we give our answer for these points. This kind of understanding we can say task achievement. Task achievement. So task achievement is not like just to read the question and understand. The student should get some kind of understanding on how should be your answer, how you are going to organize your answer, what kind of weight, what kind of emphasis you are giving for different areas of the answer. That overall understanding, if you understand that and develop your answer to exactly the question, that is we call task achievement. That is we call task achievement. It means that you achieve the task. The paper put you a task, you have to achieve this task. That is we call task achievement. Is it clear to you all? That is task achievement. That is first criteria. So second criteria is coherence. Coherence and cohesion. Coherence and cohesion. That is the second criteria. Coherence and cohesion. Actually, this criteria are equally important. Equally important. Now, if you achieve the task by understanding the question properly, and when you are writing your answer, this is the second criteria, coherence and cohesion. What do you mean by coherence and cohesion? What is the simple meaning of coherence and cohesion? Do you have any idea what is the coherence and cohesion? What do you mean? What do you mean by coherence and cohesion? Any idea? Any idea what do you mean by coherence and cohesion? Actually, coherence and cohesion means when you writing how you are maintain a proper flow of your writing. That is the coherence and cohesion. When you are writing, so how you maintain proper flow of your writing. So how you can maintain your flow? What is flow means? Actually, the flow means when you are writing, your content wise also there should be a flow. Content also there should be a flow, and this flow practically reflect like this. The one is sentence to sentence connection. Sentence to sentence connection. That is the one thing. Sentence to sentence connection. When you are writing within one paragraph, when you are writing sentences, no, those sentences should have sentence to sentence connection in idea wise, as well as the way you writing also. The way you writing. As an example, assume that you write like this. Private motor vehicles create lot of problems on the road. You are writing your second sentence. However, private motor vehicles are very important for busy people. Now you can see your first sentence and second sentence are idea-wise connected, and using the word like however, again that two sentences are connected. Now, within one paragraph, you should ensure sentence to sentence connection. Within one paragraph, you should ensure sentence to sentence connection. It means that you are maintaining a flow within your paragraph. And then, second point is, you have to maintain para to para connection. Para to para connection also. Para to para connection. You want to maintain. I think you can understand my point. A sentence to sentence connection within the paragraph and in between paragraph there should be para-to-para connection. I will give you time to write down if you need, and I will share the recording also. Right. So it's like that. When you are writing like this, this is your first paragraph, and assume that this is your second paragraph, and think this is your third paragraph. Then this is your first sentence, and this first sentence should connect with the second sentence, and this second sentence should be connected with the third sentence, and this third sentence should connect with this fourth sentence. The fourth sentence should connect with the fifth sentence. It should be properly connected. Properly connected in idea wise as well as the way you use in the word like button, however, anyway, you can connect. And again, please don't forget that from para to para. This is first paragraph and this is second paragraph. So then para to para connection also important. It means the last sentence of the first para should connect with the first sentence of the second para. The last sentence of the second para should connect with the first sentence of the third para. Likewise, when you are writing, you have to think how I can maintain this connection. How we can maintain this connection. So that is we call actually coherence and cohesion. Coherence and cohesion. It means that smartly you are maintaining that connection. That connection. We call that coherence and cohesion. Is it clear? Is it clear? Right. Now I can understand that. I know that even I told this like this. When I am telling that, I can say this is this connection you have maintained, this connection you have maintained. But though I told that, when practically when you are writing, this is challenging. This is challenging. The thing is, you have limited time. Within limited time, you have to do that. Then these qualities you can reach by practicing. By practicing. නැත්නම් ඔයාලට කවදාවත් බෑනේ ඊමේ හිත දැන් මම ෆස්ට් සෙන්ටෙන්ස් එකට සෙකන්ඩ් සෙන්ටෙන්ස් එක කනෙක්ට් වෙන්න ඉතින් ලියන්න ඕන. සෙකන්ඩ් එකට තර්ඩ් එක කනෙක්ට් වෙන්න ඕන. ඊමේ හිත කරන්න පුළුවන් වැඩක් නෙවෙයි මේක. So this is, you should know the criteria are like that. Then we need to make some effort, deliberate effort during our IELTS preparation time to align with this criteria to certain level. If you can well align, you will get a high band score. But your requirements are a bit low band score than most of you, then you can try to reach to some level. That is we call coherence and cohesion. Then next criteria we call, third one, we call lexical resources. Lexical resources. This is your third criteria. Lexical resources. What do you mean by lexical resources? What is lexical resources? Any idea? Now, task achievement, coherence and cohesion, then lexical resources. What is lexical resources? Lexical resources means actually your vocabulary. Your vocabulary. Your vocabulary. That is we call lexical resources. When you are writing, you have to use wide range of vocabulary. You have to use what? Wide range of vocabulary. Wide range of vocabulary. Wide range of vocabulary. You have to use that wide range of vocabulary. That is we call lexical resources. And now, wide range of vocabulary means, if I further explain, you should use general vocabulary. General vocabulary means words, verbs you have to use, as well as you have to use contextual vocabulary. Contextual vocabulary. You have to use these two types of vocabulary. General vocabulary as well as contextual vocabulary. What is the difference between these two? Anyone knows? But general vocabulary means that samanya vachana. Samanya vachana, samanya kriyapada you have to use. What is contextual vocabulary? What is contextual vocabulary? Any idea? Yes? Very good. Very good. If you get a question related to sports, you have to use some words related to sports. If your question is on private motor vehicles, Yes, you have to use some words like traffic jams, roadblocks, high prices, fuel hike, taxes on vehicles. Likewise, you have to use some words related to that field. Those are we call contextual vocabulary. You should use. If your question is on higher education, you have to use some words related to higher education. Higher education. So that is we call contextual vocabulary. Now with your vocabulary, the examiner check whether you are using good general vocabulary as well as whether you are using contextual vocabulary. These two we call what? Lexical resources. That is for third criteria. Now last criteria, fourth one, this is we call grammar, range and accuracy. Grammar, range and accuracy. This is last criteria. Now, grammar, range and accuracy, by looking at the criteria you can judge. Now, grammar range, grammar wala parase, whether when you are writing, whether you use a wide range of grammar, different grammar applications. As an example, whether you are using tenses active voice, tenses passive voice, simple be verbs and is or was were like that. And whether you use that complex be verbs like had been, has been, will have been, shall have been, and maybe whether you are using like a modal verbs like a can, could, may, might, ought to, should, must, had to, have, has to. Likewise, whether you are using a wide range of vocabulary, that is wide range of grammar, not vocabulary, wide range of grammar and accuracy. Accuracy, that is the fourth criteria. By looking at these four criteria, can you see any difference of this fourth criteria compared to first, second and third? Now, coherence and cohesion means flow. Task achievement means your answer should well fit with the question. So, lexical resource means vocabulary. Yes, it is too like general vocabulary and contextual vocabulary. But by looking at this criteria, you can see this criteria clearly say two things, very clear two things. One is a grammar range, other one is accuracy. It means that when you are writing, you have to use the wide range of grammar and as well as your grammar application should be correct. Should be correct. In a grammar range, accuracy. What is accuracy means? Nivaraditave. Nivaraditave. In a fourth criteria, all four criteria equally important. Equally important for what? To get a higher band score. To get a higher band score. But I would like to say, by looking at these four criteria, this criteria is little bit important. Why? Because it talks about grammar range as well as accuracy. Grammar range as well as accuracy. But I want to tell, in this criteria, in IELTS examination, more focus on grammar range than accuracy. By looking at this criteria, examiners give more marks. You have a grammar range is high. Accuracy is also important. But as an example, if a student writing using only tenses active voice, but his accuracy is very high, but he's used only tenses active voice. Maybe another student use tenses active voice, passive voice, simple be verbs, complex be verbs, modal verbs and very high range of grammar, but accuracy having some problems. But the second student get more marks. Right? Grammar range එක හොඳයි. හැමතිස්සෙම මෙතනදී examiners ලා වැඩි focus එක දෙන්නේ මොකටද? මෙන්න මෙතනට grammar range. Accuracy එකට වැඩිය මොකටද focus එක දෙන්නේ? Grammar range. පැහැදිලිද? Now, if you have a good grammar range, you have an advantage in IELTS writing. Clear? Now, by looking at these first two criteria, what is task achievement and coherence and cohesion? Then second two criteria, lexical resources and grammar range and accuracy. By looking at this first and second criteria, and by looking at third and fourth criteria, can you see very clear difference? මේ criteria set දෙක අතර පැහැදිලි වෙනසක් ඔයගලන්ට පේනවද මොකක්ද? Can you see any difference? By looking at these two criteria, this is vocabulary and grammar. These two criteria actually task achievement, it is task and flow. By looking at these two and these two, can you see any difference? Anyone? මොකද හිතන්නේ ඔයාලට? Task achievement, coherence and cohesion. Lexical resources, vocabulary and grammar range and accuracy. Can you see any difference between these two and these two? Any idea? Ishan? Very good. Nirosha? Yatrika? Muthuna වෙනසක් පේන්නේ නැද්ද? Task achievements, coherence and cohesion. Vocabulary, grammar. First two? Skill. Second two? Yeah. Can you see some difference? Can you see some difference? I will explain. These two criteria, I can say, more like a practical criteria. This is more practical focus. Why? Because that task achievement, it's more practical. And coherence and cohesion flow, it's practical. But these two criteria, more technical. This is more technical. Grammar, vocabulary, it's more technical. It's more technical. So this is more technical. This is more practical. So that's the nature of this IELTS writing scoring criteria. So now you should, when you are answering for the writing task 2 questions, especially now we already started writing our writing task 2 questions, you have to think about these 4 criteria. Is it clear? Any questions? Clear. Right. Now I want to so that's the end. That's the end of these 4 different criteria. Now you have an understanding on that. In our next session, we are going to understand especially this 4th criteria. This 4th criteria, grammar range and accuracy. Grammar range and accuracy. We'll see how we show the examiner. My grammar range and accuracy is high. Now, if you can show that, that is great. Why? Because this is a very special criteria. It's check your grammar. So in my next session, I will explain you. Even though your grammar knowledge is not very strong, how you can show to the examiner, how you can prove in front of the examiner that your grammar range is reasonably good. So that's what we are going to discuss in our next session. So that's the end of this session on IELTS scoring criteria.